T-Bar knows we're live. Dijakovic knows we're live. I think we're live, man! Had a little back and forth with my good old buddy T-Bar on Twitter. Love me some Dijakovic, man. SmackDown tonight, man. What a garbage. Did I say garbage episode? Not surprised. We have trash of champions this Sunday. So I'm not surprised that they gave us trash on Friday Night SmackDown. Alexa Bliss is doing the best work of her career. There, I said it. And I proudly admit it. You know who else is doing the best work of his career? Roman fucking Reigns is doing the best work of his career. Absolutely. And that was pretty much it for SmackDown. If you missed the last 20 minutes, that was actually the best part of the show. The best part of your night is right here on the #1 pro wrestling podcast in the IWC. There's only one off the What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Drinks in hand. It's a good evening, man. It's a good evening. What do I got in the cup? What do I got in the Montez Ford Solo Cup, man? You'll never know. You'll never know. Oh, man. That's good stuff. Anyway. It's quite the interesting evening, man. My boy T-Bar. Yeah, man. Dijakovic. Tweeting me. Now, what is he replying to? This is what I said actually on the weekend, folks. Actually, what was it? Today's Friday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. This was on September 22nd. Does anyone think Vince McMahon or any member of his team hears and sees the tremendous backlash to how they legitimately killed 5 NXT talents with absolutely god-awful names and presentation and think, hey man, we fucked up? I genuinely think this was all done on purpose. I didn't use a hashtag. I didn't at anybody. I'm over here minding my own business. You know what I mean? Minding my own business on Twitter. And then Dijakovic says, I'm dead? This must be hell then. Bro, listen. I don't know where you're located. You might be in the bowels of a building somewhere. I don't know where you are. Listen, I love you, bro. Seriously. Dijakovic is fucking great. He's easily, with Keith Lee, going to be in my top 3 matches of 2020. With what they did at TakeOver Portland, man. I've been such a big fan of Dijakovic on NXT television. I hope he knows that. I hope he doesn't fucking block me like the rest of the goddamn roster. But, yes, you are in hell, bro. You are on Monday Night Raw. That is the worst wrestling show in the creation Everybody says it, everybody feels it, everybody knows it. Monday Night Raw is utter trash right now. And it's not even anybody's fault except the creative team and Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. We all know that. There's no logic on the show. So yes, you're in fucking hell. Okay? I don't even know why you want to be on the fucking show. Anyway. Yes, you are in hell. But if there's anybody in the community that has your back, my God, man, I got all 5 of your backs in this thing. Every single one of you. I know shit. I know shit. This ain't right. I know people are laughing. I know people are fucking mocking. I know things must have been done on purpose. Listen, man, I go into a whole nother new rant on tomorrow's podcast. I said it on Monday. Go back and listen to my fucking rant on Monday. Something was done on purpose, man. You're not going to name somebody fucking slapjack and then look at the definition on Urban Dictionary and then tell me nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. T-Bar, Dio Madden looked fucking great. I don't give a shit about the name, but man, oh man. I just don't see the need to change the names. Why do you gotta change the names? Why? I just don't understand it, man. But if there's anybody in this community, my chat knows it, my audience knows it, my fucking social media followers know it. If there's anybody in this community that has Dijakovic's back and fucking Mercedes Martinez and Shane Thorne and Dio Madden, me and him is a little rocky there. But, my God, man, it's me. It's me. So please don't take what I say to heart. I have your back. I'm not being negative for the sake of what you guys are doing on television. I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed, man. Please. Please. I just find it very difficult for anybody to succeed with the names that they were given like that. It's like you're working behind. Really. It's like you're a fucking middle relief pitcher and you're coming in to fucking salvage the game. Seriously. Right, you're up 1-0. Your team's up 1-0, and your star pitcher goes down with a fucking elbow injury. You come in for long relief, and you gotta hold the fucking lead. It's like Game 7 of the fucking playoffs. That's exactly what they got going on, man. Their backs are against the wall. I hope you do it. I hope you do it, really. So shout out to my boy T-Bar, man. Me and my boy T-Bar on Twitter. Anyway, bro. SmackDown sucked, as usual. Bruce seemingly can't handle writing Monday Night Raw and SmackDown in the same week. It's all the same shit. I honestly think this show was a rehashed version, a repeat of last week, minus a thing here or there, minus a promo here and there. But if there's 2 things that we can take away from this show tonight, quickly, if there's 2 things that we can take away from this show tonight, I will say this, and I mean this, I'm not trolling, I'm not drunk. Alexa Bliss is doing the best work of her career. I think she's doing a fantastic job. Now, all you have to do is keep her out of the ring in a wrestling capacity. And we'll have Alexa Bliss doing the best work of her career. And my God, man, did you guys see the look that Alexa Bliss gave Roman Reigns while he came down the aisle for that last segment, and she stood there behind him and stood behind Paul Heyman looking at him? I know a lot of you people were wondering, if you watched the show, why did they have Roman Reigns come out while Alexa Bliss was exiting the stage? It's because they are giving you a hint as to where Roman Reigns is going next when he slaughters Jey Uso. Which is no good news for Bray Wyatt, because we got Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns possibly being set up, and the next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell, and we all know that Bray Wyatt died last year inside Hell in a Cell with one architect who proved to be a false prophet and a loser, Seth Rollins. So that's that. And then speaking of Roman Reigns, he was the other big part of the night with Jey Uso. Roman Reigns has absolutely never looked better than he does now, man. Wow. WWE might actually pull it off. they might actually have Roman Reigns going this way instead of going this way as far as the heel turn. And there are still people out there that are claiming to me on Twitter, I seen it today, as early as today. People are telling me, Roman Reigns is still not a heel. He's not a heel. Really? He just fucking Superman punched Jey Uso's head into one of the fucking big virtual screens with some fucking geek jumping around. He's not a fucking heel? His facial reactions last week indicated heel. I love it. This is great. I've asked for this for 5 years. I think I've led the charge as far as Roman Reigns turning heel. I find it funny that WWE did it now with no fans, but man, oh man, is Roman Reigns absolutely killing it right now. And Jey Uso with that promo tonight, man. One of the best promos he's cut. You felt the emotion. You felt the realness. I loved the promo that he cut tonight at the end of the show. We will go over exactly what they said to each other, which led to the Superman punch at the end of what I thought was a terrible SmackDown episode on Fox tonight. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on the podcast, man. Not only do we have the review, but we got a lot of SmackDown news going into Sunday's Clash of the Champions pay-per-view. A lot of Roman Reigns news. And we're going to go over all of that, plus, like I said, the review of the show. But I want to thank you guys again for joining me here on the podcast. If you can kindly, please hit that thumbs up, man. We are at 338 likes, please. I'll tell you who wants the thumbs up, man. Seriously. Go and do it for Guy Fieri. Go and do it for the Guy DeLorean. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for me, bro. Do it for him. Look at him. Look at him. This guy is a fucking beast, bro. He's on his way to slay some diner, drive-in, and dive somewhere. Don't do it for me. Hit the thumbs up for Guy DeLorean, okay? I appreciate you. You got to do it. You don't want to disappoint him now. Can't disappoint Guy, man. He is the real demo god. Hit the thumbs up and make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel down below. And if you guys want to follow me on social media as well, follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Appreciate you guys tweeting with me on Twitter tonight during SmackDown. If you missed anything that I've uploaded on the channel right now, please go and do so, man. After the video is over, after the stream is over, Monday Night Raw was excellent. The show wasn't, the podcast was. So go and watch that, man. Epic 30-minute rant on Retribution and how WWE Creative fucking sucks. So go and check that out. There's an extra on there as well. And I believe there is AEW and NXT fully uploaded for you guys as well. Go and check those out. 2 of the live streams that we did for the Wednesday Night Wars separately. I don't do them together. AEW and NXT both on the channel as well. And we're here tonight for SmackDown. And then tomorrow, we got Off the Script episode 344 going up at 5 p.m. on the channel. Over 2 hours of audio and video content for you guys. Lots of good stuff in there. Plus a Clash of Champions predictions. All in tomorrow's Off the Script. If you guys want to go and support the podcast, there are a variety of ways to do that. You guys can go and pick up a t-shirt. Bonfire.com. Go and get your new t-shirts, man. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of JD and Off the Script. So go and do that. Mouthmasker.com as well. Go and get your Off the Script masks. That is mouthmasker.com/OTS. We got the new black Off the Script masks in stock. They are great. If you guys want to support via Patreon, you guys can certainly do that as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And tonight's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Harry's. If a handful of you guys today who don't use Harry's want something for free, man, seriously, they're giving away their newest, sharpest blades ever. Harry's, to me, I've been using them for 4 years, the best shave of my entire existence. And I guarantee you it will be yours as well. Harrys.com/script. And I want to thank Harry's for once again sponsoring the show tonight, right here for SmackDown on Off the scripts. Might as well get into the news first, man, because the news is actually more exciting than what we got going on the SmackDown show that was tonight. Now, Roman Reigns was interviewed by Corey Graves. He was on After the Bell by Corey Graves. Roman Reigns was actually interviewed via a Zoom call as well today that led to a lot of news being leaked to the dirt sheets on what he said there. I'll start at the top. Roman Reigns, rumored. Now, please take this with a pinch of salt. I don't know how legit this news article is. But Roman Reigns said that he wants to start a Samoan stable, a Samoan faction on SmackDown. Now, like I said, he was interviewed. He chatted with a fan on a Zoom call. And during this call, he took a shot at Retribution. He took a shot at the Hurt Business by pointing out that a faction consisting of himself and all of his wrestling family would dominate WWE. Now, I don't think that this is happening. I know a lot of people in the community that have predicted something like this to happen. I know there are a lot of people in the community that would love to see Roman Reigns lead a new faction of the Samoan dynasty or the bloodline with the Usos, maybe with Nia Jax. I think that would be something that is very interesting. Now, he mentioned Retribution and he mentioned the Hurt Business here, and then he threw out the idea of a faction and himself with his family, but I don't think he meant it as a way that it's a possibility or it's in the plans. I think he was just kind of blindsided with the question of a faction or being in a faction or leading a faction after the days of the Shield, and now we got Retribution and the Hurt Business on Monday Night Raw. I think he was blindsided by the question, and that was his rush to a response. So I don't think this is happening, but it's great to fantasize about if you're looking at all the different ways it could work on SmackDown. Now, obviously, they would have to draft Nia Jax over to SmackDown. Roman Reigns and the Usos would have to stay on SmackDown via the draft if there is a rumored draft happening in October. But he says, boy, you put me and my cousins, the girls, Joe as well, just based off the lineage, that's a tough group to dismantle. I mean, we just watched Retribution in the Hurt Business. We would squash all of them. You put them all together, we would squash them all. I mean, they're legitimate competitors. They are all great athletes, but you put all of us together with not only the fact that we're hard-nosed competitors ourselves, a faction of the Anoa'i bloodline would be no joke. So, I don't know if this is actually going to become a reality, but he was asked this question, and that was his answer. So we could definitely see something like that happen in the future, but Jey Uso, by the looks of it, is going to be slaughtered on Sunday night, so we may not be seeing any alignment of the Usos and Roman Reigns in the near future. So we'll see what happens with that. Right now, Roman Reigns is absolutely on top of the world with Paul Heyman. I do not think he needs a stable at all. In fact, I do think a stable led by Roman Reigns would actually make him look a little bit weaker. That's just my honest viewpoint from that perspective. I think if Roman Reigns was in a stable right now with the Anoa'i family or the bloodline, with the Usos, with Nia Jax, I think it would actually make him a little bit more weaker. He looks as dominant as ever just standing by himself with Paul Heyman. So just leave it as is. You don't need to change anything right now because nothing is broken. Now, Roman Reigns was interviewed by the same people. I believe it was the Zoom call. And he discussed how impatient fans can be. Now, this is not the only talent on the WWE roster that's made mention of the fans being, I guess, impatient. Or they can't wait for something to just play out on television. So he mentioned and discussed how impatient the WWE fans can be. He advised that the fans need to wait and let storylines develop. They're not going to see a big change immediately, but it's a process worth waiting for. Now, I don't think he's talking about anything but himself. I honestly think he's just talking about himself. He says, and I quote, "We got a bunch of fast food fans. No, thank you, bro. I don't eat fast food. Nobody should be eating fast food, please. We got a bunch of fast food fans, and they complain that they want stories and well thought out stories to develop. When you start doing that for them, they want it all right now. My people, I'm cooking a steak. We're creating an elaborate omelet, and I don't know if he's talking about SmackDown or Titus Catering. I don't know. We're creating an elaborate omelet, and we're in the process of cracking eggs right now. You're not going to get it quite yet. We're going to let the steaks stay on the grill. If you want your cheeseburger, watch Raw. SmackDown, we do filet mignon. That was his exact quote. Now, other than him making me hungry, I don't know what he's talking about outside himself. I don't think he's talking about fans in general. Yes, fans can be impatient. Yes, wrestling fans are the dumbest fucking idiots you'll find on social media. I know this, you know this, everybody knows this, man. We all make each other look like blithering idiots, okay? Some are smarter than others, like me. I mean, I am of the highest intelligence in the IWC, but I think you all know that already. That's why you're here. But fans are definitely impatient. I have gone on record and said that Roman Reigns definitely needs to change his look. He still looks a little too much like the Roman Reigns of old. Like the babyface Roman Reigns. He needs new music. He needs new attire. If he's going to stand in the ring with Paul Heyman and he's going to look the part and he's going to do that, he is now I guess he's the Universal Champion. He wants to say this is his island, this is his WWE. Then show me. Show me. You're wearing a t-shirt that says wreck everyone and leave. Show up and win was on his shirt tonight. So I want you to play the part. I want you to have new theme music to fit your heel persona. The old theme is only going to make people think, well, he didn't turn heel. Oh, he's still a babyface. Oh, he's a tweener. No. He's not a babyface. He doesn't need to be a babyface. You don't want to portray him as a babyface. You don't want him to be a tweener either. You don't want him to be borderline, oh, he's a babyface some days and then he's a heel the other days. No. You don't need anything like that. You need something concrete. Concrete. That is a heel. And if Roman Reigns is talking about himself and the blocks are being layered one on top of the other, and those things are going to come, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Normally, fans get confused. Fans don't realize that, if someone turns heel, then WWE had this heel run already planned, and they had new music ready and a new outfit ready, and everything was good to go. By the second week, he was a heel. It usually doesn't happen where, someone turns heel and then we get these things rolled out one after the other like in a slow process. But apparently they're doing things differently. Apparently Paul Heyman has a lot of creative aspect with Roman Reigns, so they may be approaching this, they may be doing this a lot differently than a traditional heel turn. So if that is the case, I hope he's right. I hope he's not bullshitting whoever was interviewing him via this Zoom call. So if he is getting new music, if he's getting a new attire, a new outfit, if he's going to wrestle without his shirt off like I read and it's rumored to be for Roman Reigns, then so be it. Great. Great. I hope that is the case. Roman Reigns actually shoots on the WWE roster. This is when he was interviewed by Corey Graves on After the Bell. He shoots on the WWE roster who wants a push, but complains about the hard work. Now, obviously, I don't know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know who's complaining and who's not complaining. But I do think the people that are complaining are the people that are putting in the hard work and WWE just blatantly looks them over, is blatantly not using them. I don't know if anybody is complaining just to complain. I honestly, genuinely, and truly think that people who are complaining inside the WWE locker room are the people that are not being given an opportunity to do anything because they are not in the favor of WWE management. I honestly think everybody is working hard in the WWE. I think every man and woman is working hard. The complaints come in when they know they aren't getting a fair opportunity, that they haven't been given any opportunity to show you what they can do. Or if they're brought back to TV, then they're taken off of TV in 2 weeks because Vince remembered he had you, and then he fell out of love again with you and realized, oh, now I realize why I didn't push this guy. He's too small. He does these flips and these dives. He's got a bad promo, whatever the case may be. Or they just don't like you for whatever reason. You're outspoken, yada, yada, yada. Who knows why Vince McMahon doesn't like who he likes? Or why Vince McMahon doesn't like who he doesn't like. I don't know. Who knows why he likes who he likes anyway? Either. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody has a knack for talent in that company anymore. You're relying on Bruce Pritchard to fucking find the next guy to push on this show? I mean, for Christ's sakes, Baron Corbin beat Matt Riddle clean tonight. When can we start talking about Matt Riddle being a permanent resident in catering? It's coming sooner rather than later. So Roman Reigns discussed this, and he said this, and I quote, "Everybody wants to be on top. You've been in the locker room. You've been around the boys. Everybody wants that push. Everybody's like, man, if they just push me, this, that. But when it comes to the work, they start bitching and moaning about it. They start complaining. It's like you said, you want to be the guy, but you don't want to work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what's happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in WWE. There's no shows outside of NXT on Wednesday, and that's pre-taped. So I don't know exactly what's going on. They don't want to go work out. They don't want to get their body right. They don't want to put the work in as far as getting physically fit. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I genuinely don't know why this is a discussion on the podcast. You know what I mean? You don't want to work on a Saturday. You don't want a double shot. You don't want to do the media before and after the show. You know what I mean? You don't want to have a situation to catch a flight across the country to do a hit for ESPN. There are a lot of different things that keep you away from home that make this a 24/7, 365-day-a-year job. It's not even a job. It's like a life. It's a lifestyle. It's something that's like you just ... I don't know. You are it. You become it. It's not something that you can just put off to the side for a while and be like, I want a normal life for a little bit. I don't think it's something that everybody, as far as talent, understands that. And whenever they do get a little bit of a taste, it's shocking. And I've seen some of the boys go from, man, I want to be pushed. I want to be the guy. I want to have the responsibility of being in the locker room. And then it's like, I kind of like it right here doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Be on TV this month, wait, be able to make a good living, be able to be with my family for the rest of the week. They don't want to be in a situation, not all of them. I'm not saying this is everybody. That's what makes our locker room special. This is what we do. We're hungry performers. But it's very rare for someone to taste the idea of doing everything. Being on every single show, being dead tired all the time, and enjoying it. You know what I mean? And then being able to enjoy it year in and year out. It's one thing to do it for a year or two, but when you've done it for 6 or 7, that's when you know you are it. You don't got it, you are it. End quote. Now, this is the same situation. This reminds me of the same situation with a lot of people complaining. With the Saudi situation that happened in the Saudi Arabia situation, it was a lot of people complaining that they were grounded on the flight. And I heard from people that I know who are very credible with the situation that the people complaining were the guys who were not on the show, who weren't really being used on TV, and they had to sit there, and all they did was complain. So all the complaints came from guys that were not really a focus in the company or a focus for television. And that's what I think Roman Reigns is trying to get at here. A lot of the people complaining, it's not like they don't want to put the work in. It's not like they don't want to put the work in. I honestly think if you go ask a guy like Mustafa Ali and Ricochet, if they want to put the work in and they want to be that guy, they will go out there and do exactly what Roman Reigns is doing. Seriously. All they want is an opportunity. The people complaining are not complaining about putting in the work. They're complaining, and he did say not everybody's complaining. This is not everybody, but the people that are complaining are the people not getting an opportunity. I just don't like when this type of discussion comes up because you don't really know what people are thinking. You really don't. Roman Reigns is so busy doing this, that. Right? He is the locker room leader. But, I mean, who is he to say anything about somebody else when it's not even him or them, that other individual, that really has a opportunity to change anything? It's all WWE management. So who are you to say somebody doesn't want to work hard when we all know that it's management holding somebody down? It's management that doesn't want people to rise up. It's management that puts people in that situation where they don't want to work hard. Because when somebody is held down and held down and held down, and management continues to do them week after week after week, year after year after year, how motivated are you really going to be? How many people have left this company and said publicly that WWE has actively killed their love for professional wrestling? I mean, everybody says it. Everybody. And it wouldn't be said after the fact if they didn't mean it. Those are not people disgruntled. Those are not people disgruntled with the WWE. That digs deeper than just being disgruntled with your ex-performer or your ex-employer. You're an employee that didn't get an opportunity, and that digs deeper. So deep that it's almost as if you wasted your life for what? I know what I possess as an individual, as a performer, and it's all management holding me down for what? So I don't understand why this constant topic is always coming up. Yeah, some people, listen, I'm not even blaming Roman Reigns. Some people do accept a WWE contract and get complacent. Some people do want to accept a contract, sit around, do nothing, wrestle once every month, collect a paycheck, be with their family, especially now, do as little as possible, and they are very content with doing nothing and getting by. Oh, look, I got somewhat of a decent social media following. Hey, I'll wrestle on Monday Night Raw tonight, and I'll take the next 3 weeks off. Or I'm on main event. I don't really have to go out there and try so hard. They're using me on main event, and that's all they think of me as. It's not going to be on TV. Yes, there are some people in the company that think that way. But those that are not being used, they have every single right to complain. Roman Reigns, like I said before, is getting new music. He plans to wrestle shirtless. This was from the Zoom call, and this was transcribed by WrestlingNews.co. Some of the notes from the call. Roman said Retribution has a long way to go before they get to his level. We talked about that briefly before. He said fans should expect a new render of Roman Reigns after Sunday's Clash of Champions. Roman wants fans to let his storyline play out because he and Paul Heyman are basically in control over their entire storyline. Roman joked about Jon Moxley having multiple personalities. Said he misses the fans and can't wait to see them at shows again. He said he has new music, but it won't debut until the time is right in the storyline. He also noted that he chose his new music. That's good to know. Keith Lee somewhere is fucking crying into a napkin. So that's that with Roman Reigns. Kofi Kingston. I got news on Kofi Kingston. There was a news article about Kofi Kingston moving to Monday Night Raw. Now, I don't know why they would move him to Monday Night Raw. Kofi Kingston moving to Monday Night Raw does what? It does what? Are they going to break him away from the New Day? Are we looking at a breakup of the New Day? I don't know. But apparently, WWE had this idea of moving Kofi Kingston to Monday Night Raw. WrestleVotes tweeted out. Interesting idea that was discussed but turned down. Kofi Kingston would return to Raw. Big E stays on SmackDown. Both remain a part of the New Day, including gear and music, just on separate brands. Another twist, Xavier Woods would serve as a manager of sorts, appearing on both shows. No. I'm sorry. That's just another way for WWE to lazily book themselves into using a trio like the New Day and act like the New Day and spread them across both shows because they think the New Day are a draw. Oh, they're on SmackDown, but they can't be on Raw. Let's come up with a way where they could be on both shows and we could get the New Day on Monday and get the New Day on Friday. We could get Kofi and Woods, and then we could get Woods and E on Monday and Friday. No. That defeats the purpose of a brand split. Why would you do that? If you're going to break them away and put them on separate brands, break the group up. Break the group up. Turn Big E heel, keep Kofi and Xavier on one brand and Big E on the other. Simple. Very simple. I don't get what Kofi Kingston moving to Monday Night Raw does. He's not even as big of a star as people think of Kofi Kingston being. He's not that big of a guy. Honestly. He got the run that he got, and that was it. He'll never get it again. And I don't mean that as a snide remark. I don't mean that as a slight to Kofi Kingston. It's just the truth of the matter. He's lucky he got it in the first place. He wasn't even slotted for that role, ever. That role was Mustafa Ali's. Kofi Kingston went in there and busted his ass, got the fan support, and WWE had no choice but to give it to Kofi Kingston. If they didn't, it would have ended up being as bad of a Daniel Bryan situation that they were looking at in 2014. They had to do it. So Kofi Kingston on Monday Night Raw, Big E on SmackDown, it doesn't work. It's only a lazy way for WWE to get the New Day on both shows via the brand split. I don't like it. Be a little bit more creative. Big E could turn heel, Kofi could turn heel, Xavier could turn heel, whatever. If you want to break them up and put them on separate brands, break the New Day up. What else are they going to do anyway? You've broken up every other fucking tag team on this show. Might as well. Might as well. They've accomplished everything as a tag team. There's nothing more for them to accomplish. I got news on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's WWE contract. Apparently, he is going to be with the company for a couple more years. He interviewed with BT Sport and said that he signed the new contract with WWE. Part of the new deal was for him to be able to use his old theme, No More Words. Dave Meltzer noted on the episode where they discussed this on Wrestling Observer Live, this was last week, that Hardy's previous deal was supposed to expire in a couple of months, and he wasn't exactly sure about the length of the deal, but typically WWE likes to sign wrestlers to 3 or 5 year deals. PWInsider.com reported this week that the new contract has time added onto the contract due to injury-related inactivity that he dealt with during his previous contract. It was noted that the new deal is closer to 2 or 3 years in total length. So that's that. Hardy is not going to be joining Matt in AEW anytime soon. So he's going to be with the E for another 3 years at most. So get used to seeing Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. What happens with Jeff Hardy after Clash of Champions is what I discussed on tomorrow's show. We'll go over a little bit because he was in the opening segment of tonight's SmackDown episode. But what does Jeff Hardy do after Clash of Champions? Does he retain the Intercontinental title? Does he drop the Intercontinental Championship? We'll discuss that in a little bit. John Morrison. He explains why he chose WWE over AEW. I could tell you why he chose WWE over AEW. Comfort and probably a bigger paycheck. Simple. He was actually interviewed by Chris Van Vliet about the last period of free agency that he had in his career. He was with Lucha Underground, but that show wrapped up, never to return again. WWE actually told him if he re-signed with Lucha Underground, then he might not be allowed to come back. Well, good for them. Lucha Underground is dead. So that wasn't even a point at all. So I don't know why they threw that out there like they're threatening him. Oh, if you sign with Lucha Underground, you can't come back. Give me a fucking break. Yes, because if John Morrison is out there, you're not going to throw fucking any type of money out there to keep him away from a competitor, right? Lucha Underground or not. Give me a break. Then Morrison spoke to both AEW and WWE. Vince McMahon and Morrison had a really good conversation, and then WWE made him an offer that AEW apparently couldn't match. AEW can match any fucking offer. They just chose not to. And by the looks of it, they ain't really missing out on much of anything anyway with John Morrison, especially with what he's doing now with The Miz. He says, and I quote, so when season 4 of Lucha ended, they have some stuff on their contracts where there's a tail, and the tail doesn't start until the episode starts airing. So I signed with Impact, and when everything was free and clear, I decided I'm a free agent again, completely free, no ties anywhere. I'm going to figure out where I go and what do I want to do. So I talked to WWE and I talked to AEW, and I had a really good conversation with Vince, and they made me a really nice offer, and I ended up taking it. End quote. Doesn't really explain why he chose WWE over AEW. So it's exactly what I stated it was. Money. Money. If he wanted freedom and he wanted just to be himself and be Johnny Mundo, Worldwide Underground Johnny Mundo, then he would have went to AEW. But he opted to take the money and join WWE and go to SmackDown and be the Miz's lackey. Meanwhile, we all know he can be much more than just the Miz's lackey. John Morrison should be ingrained in that IC title picture. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with John Morrison on SmackDown. I got some other news on Shinsuke Nakamura, and I got some news on Otis, which we'll talk about during the review, because Otis apparently is dropping that Money in the Bank briefcase. It seems like WWE is hell-bent on writing that briefcase off of Otis. And then I got news on Shinsuke Nakamura going into Clash of Champions as well. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, man. Hoop Media in the chat. Are we number one? Hoot Media. We got 1,490 in the chat. Hit that thumbs up, guys. We got 555 likes right now. Super chats are open. Number one by over 800. Hoot Media says, let's get to 700 likes. Listen to Hoot Media, folks. Listen to the analyst. They know. Anyway, guys, thank you for making me number one, as always. Tonight, we're going to get into the SmackDown show, as always. But I want to shout out Harry's, harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys go and sign up, man. Trial value set can be yours. You're going to get one of their brand new sharpest blades ever. You're going to get a razor handle with a firm grip. You're going to get a travel cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go, and a very generous bottle of their shave gel with aloe. All you guys have to do is sign up and use harrys.com/script, man. Go and sign up today. It's basically getting something for free just for listening to the SmackDown post show right here on Off the Script. We got AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy in the ring. They are doing a special ceremony called the Intercontinental Championship Ascension. So Corey Graves was there moderating this thing. Graves announced that because both straps will be above the ring, there will be no champion's advantage. Of course, there is never a champion's advantage in a ladder match, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Graves pointed out that all three claim to be real champions. Styles noted that he defeated Sami Zayn last week. Zayn claimed Hardy should have done the right thing and refused the title. Styles pointed out that Zayn gave up the title to take the summer off so he could grow a neck beard. I think Sami Zayn looks fucking great. I don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying Sami Zayn more than anything else on WWE television right now. Minus the Reigns and Uso stuff. That's great stuff. But Sami Zayn is right up there, man. He is absolutely fantastic at what he does. So Hardy agreed with Styles, but he wants to move on. They raised the belts above the ring and had a brief stare down. Zayn then pushed the ladder into Hardy and AJ Styles. He ran off, and then all of a sudden, Adam Pearce comes out of nowhere and orders him to the ring. Sami Zayn ordered to the ring. Adam Pearce continues to be on television. Adam Pearce continues to get more television time than Mustafa Ali and Ricochet combined on a weekly basis. Why is that? Why is that? Why does this man have more TV time than Mustafa Ali? Why does this man have more TV time than Chad Gable? I just don't get it. I really don't. So he comes to the ring, and it was supposed to be Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy. And what we got is a triple threat non-title match between Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. And I have to know why. Why does WWE get so fucking lazy when it comes to these go-home shows? You do realize that this match is happening at the pay-per-view in a triple threat capacity on Sunday. Then you're going to have some geek in the chat, oh, well, JD, it wasn't a ladder match, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're basically giving me the match on Sunday for free on SmackDown without the ladders. I don't know in what person's mind that constitutes as being right. Why not save it? We haven't seen these matches over the last 3 weeks mix and match with Hardy and Styles and Zayn. We've seen how many times Styles and Hardy? We've seen Styles and Zayn last week on SmackDown. Now you got to do all three of them in the ring tonight, right before the pay-per-view. Today's Friday. The pay-per-view's on Sunday. Why? Why? You want to know why I'm so high on AEW? You want to know why? Because if this was AEW, they would never give you a match that's happening on pay-per-view on a go-home show like this. This is basically the same fucking match that you're getting on Sunday. Now they're going to have to try real hard to make this match a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more exciting with the ladder stipulation added into there. But AEW would never put on a match that they're doing at a pay-per-view on the go-home show and give it to you for free. Now, granted, you got to pay $50 for their pay-per-views, and granted, there are still some people that go out there and refuse to sign for the WWE Network and actually would rather buy the pay-per-view for $60. But it's terrible fucking creative. It really is. It's fucking lazy. But this is Bruce Pritchard. I'm not surprised. The match itself was fine. I just don't care to see the match when we're getting it on Sunday. I just don't care. So, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wins here in about 12 minutes. So, we got Hardy hitting both Sami and Styles with a whisper in the wind. Styles came back and nailed Hardy with a phenomenal forearm. And then Sami Zayn comes in. He tosses AJ Styles out of the ring. With Jeff Hardy just nailed with the phenomenal forearm. Sami Zayn, like the wise heel that he is, goes to cover Jeff Hardy, gets the 1-2-3, and he wins the match. And he wins going into the pay-per-view on Sunday night. Now, who wins the match? Who wins the match on Clash of Champions? I honestly feel AJ Styles. There are rumors right now about AJ Styles moving to Monday Night Raw. They moved him from Raw to SmackDown, and now they're thinking about moving him from SmackDown back to Raw in the next shakeup or the next draft, whatever the fuck they're calling it. And the reason why, it was reported the reason why AJ Styles wants to move back to Monday Night Raw is because of Paul Heyman. But AJ Styles came out and said that Paul Heyman and him, they might not like each other. He might think that Paul Heyman is a liar. But that doesn't mean he can't work with Paul Heyman in a professional manner, which is the case right now. AJ Styles came out and vehemently expressed that he hates the WWE schedule with SmackDown being on Friday because he can't watch his son play sports. He wants to attend his son's football games, is what I believe it is. So if they move him back over to Monday Night Raw, he can work on Monday and then go see his son play football on Friday. Because he can't do that. He can't go and watch his son play sports when daddy has to show up to work on Friday night. So AJ doesn't like that. And AJ is a guy in that company that has probably a lot of leverage. So if he wants to go watch his fucking son play football, and there really isn't much going on, these guys are showing up to work one day a week, why don't you give him that luxury and have him go watch his fucking son play football? Jeff Hardy, another guy in this situation. Jeff Hardy's the Intercontinental Champion, but Jeff Hardy right now has had court dates delayed for what he did and what he went through last year. So, he is the Intercontinental Champion, but we don't know what these court dates or what the decision on these court dates will be. We don't even know if they're going to happen. So, is WWE going to have Jeff Hardy retain the title with all of these court dates in question, with all of these determinations still yet to be made on Jeff Hardy? Are they going to trust someone like that, trust him enough to keep the title on him when they don't know what's going on? We don't know which side the judge is going to, execute as far as Jeff Hardy goes. And then there's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, to me, is one of the best heels in the company. Sami Zayn is one of those guys that I honestly didn't think was going to work out as a heel. I said the same thing about Bayley. They both proved me wrong, which is great because sometimes I would rather be wrong than be right. In this case, I was wrong. I didn't think Sami Zayn was going to be as good of a heel as he is. And he's one of the best heels, if not the best heel in the company. So I love what he does. He plays it well. He's a sniveling snake. He loves to get people to hate him. You know he's enjoying what he's doing and what he's saying. I still think him as the IC champion still has a lot of legs. I don't know why you would take the championship off of him. I mean, they took him and gave him an Intercontinental title reign. He sat home because of COVID. WWE punished him for it, stripped him of the championship, and then the only thing that legitimately made sense for him to come back to TV is for him to play the rightful champion role. But they took the championship off of him for absolutely no reason. Sami Zayn should be looked at as a fucking hero for wanting to stay home and do the right thing, yet they made him a martyr. They fucking took the belt off of him when he was only trying to do the right thing, when the company wasn't doing the right thing. So I think Sami Zayn's going to win this, and I think Sami Zayn, as the Intercontinental Champion, still has a lot of legs in it, still has a lot of gas left in the tank. I'm going with Sami Zayn. But he wins here, and typically, if you are taking the class of Pro Wrestling 101, if you win on the go-home show, that means you aren't winning at the pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens. I'm still calling for a Sami Zayn victory at the pay-per-view. After the match, Styles hit Sami and Hardy with a ladder. He then set the ladder up in the middle of the ring and climbed the ladder and took both IC belts and posed with them. Cole said Styles wants that to be the scene on Sunday. There's another situation. Styles set the ladder up, touched the belts before the pay-per-view. Doesn't look like he's going to end up winning that title either. Jeff Hardy actually may walk out with the championship. So we'll see what happens. I don't really understand, additionally, I don't really understand them needing to sell the visual of the ladder match as if nobody ever seen a fucking ladder match before. It's cheesy. It's cheesy. You overexert yourself, you go in there and just do the cheesiest shit. We get it. It's a ladder match. All we needed to see was the belts strapped to the little triangle piece, raised in the Thunderdome, and that was it. We don't need to see ladders all around the ring. We don't need to see AJ Styles climb a fucking ladder and take the things off the rung, the belts off the rung. It's as if WWE's treating you like you're fucking 3 years old. Anyway, I wish they'd do things a little differently, man. Whatever happened in this match with the visual of AJ Styles climbing the ladder is very formulaic. Very formulaic. We got Miz. Miz being stripped to his underwear was shown again last week. And then Otis being served a letter with a threat to relinquish his Money in the Bank contract or get sued. So Kayla Braxton interviewed Otis and Tucker backstage. She asked Otis if he's made a decision. So I don't know why he would need to make a decision, honestly, unless he couldn't afford a lawyer. Don't you think Otis would have gone out and gotten a lawyer to make a decision for him? Why does Otis need to make a decision? Otis says his mama taught him that there are 3 things he can't trust. Carnival clowns, 1% carnival clowns. You can't trust a carnival clown, folks. So that means you can't trust Bruce Pritchard. 1% milk. I don't mind me some 1% milk, man. It's that non-fat you can't drink, man. It's like water. It's like white water. And lawyers. He said if Miz and his fancy pants lawyers want to try and take the Money in the Bank briefcase from him, try. Miz and John Morrison walked in. Miz says his attorneys aren't trying to steal anything from him, but rather they are trying to make sure the WWE Universe has a Money in the Bank briefcase holder they deserve. So WWE now thinks that Otis doesn't deserve the briefcase. So why did you give him the briefcase in the first place? I could have named 2 or 3 different guys in that match that could have won the briefcase. Could have given it to Aleister Black. Could have given it to AJ Styles. You could have even given it to Baron fucking Corbin, man. That would have solved all of your fucking problems. I would have much rather have it in the hands of Corbin than Otis at this point, because all you're doing right now is devaluing the Money in the Bank briefcase. You're making it a mockery. Honestly. So Miz told Otis his legal team bill $2,000 an hour, and they don't sleep and will drown him in depositions and put a lien on everything he owns. He said when they're done, they'll have even more. Actually, they'll even have the double wide his mom calls home, the trailer. So Otis couldn't take any more. Morrison filmed him with his phone in case they needed evidence for some reason. Tucker asked Miz why his fancy team of lawyers only put his name on the lawsuit. Morrison asked what he was talking about, and then Otis attacked Morrison. So that's that. Now, it seems to me, WWE, that they are trying to write this storyline where Otis drops the briefcase. And I got an update on what WWE is doing with Otis and the Money in the Bank contract. Now, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter explained that WWE doesn't have any plans for Otis as Money in the Bank, as the Money in the Bank briefcase contract holder. Having Miz and Morrison bring in a lawyer to obtain the contract appears to be WWE's simple way of taking it off of Otis's hands. Meltzer says, and I quote, "But the plan is that between the first segment and the fifth segment, The Miz had a lawyer draft a lawsuit for unsafe working conditions, which is the old Shawn Michaels gimmick," Meltzer explained. This was last week's show. They're suing Otis, but they'll drop the lawsuit if he gives up the briefcase. Either they're going to sue, or the deal here is we got no idea how to get the briefcase off Otis, so this is how we're going to get it off of him, and that's what it is. End quote. Now, I honestly don't think WWE has any idea how to get the briefcase off of Otis. They're not just going to have Otis give it over. Otis will probably end up putting it on the line in a match and then lose. Or it'll be Tucker and Otis versus Miz and Morrison for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know if that's going to happen at Clash of Champions on Sunday, or if they're going to save that for a SmackDown episode leading to Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Nothing about Mandy. Mandy wasn't mentioned here. Everybody thought Otis would give up the Money in the Bank briefcase to The Miz to get Mandy Rose back on SmackDown. That doesn't seem to be an option now because nobody's mentioned it. But it seems to be that WWE is doing everything possible to write the script where Otis doesn't have the Money in the Bank briefcase. So again, I ask, why on earth did you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase if you knew you had no plans for him then, which that was absolutely the case? And why did you give him the briefcase if you had no desire to push him in that role? Now you're realizing that Otis isn't a world champion caliber performer? I don't think anybody watching this show realizes that Otis is going to win the win the Universal Championship as Money in the Bank briefcase holder. He's not going to beat Roman Reigns. He wasn't going to pin Bray Wyatt. Give me a break. And something that didn't dawn on these fucking geeks in creative: Otis is half of a fucking tag team. This is what happens when you give half of a fucking tag team the Money in the Bank briefcase. Otis and Tucker should be challenging for the tag team titles. Nowhere near Money in the Bank. I don't know why this was even a thing for as long as it was. So fucking stupid. Bayley came out to the stage and called Sasha a crybaby. She said she has a championship match to prepare for, unlike Sasha. She said she admires Nikki's heart and fighting spirit, but she's heard her say last week she has a better chance to beat her because she doesn't have Sasha in her corner. Bayley said she should pay attention to what she did to Sasha and how she'll do that same exact thing to her too at Clash of Champions. Bayley then lifted the chair that she was sitting on right in the aisleway and said she should imagine what she will do next. There really wasn't a lot to say here. Bayley did the job against Sasha last week and the week before that and the week before that. And Nikki Cross comes off as a loser. This is the same match that's been happening for four pay-per-views now over the course of the summer. Nikki Cross has lost every single opportunity against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and it will be the same thing on Sunday. Nikki Cross should not sniff any championships on this show. That is reserved for Sasha and Bayley. Sasha said it herself. She pretty much deemed this match irrelevant with last week's promo. She's coming after the one thing that is most important to Bayley and her life, and that is the SmackDown Women's Championship. That cannot happen if Bayley drops the title to Nikki Cross. And I don't see the type of woman in Sasha Banks, where she would go out on Sunday's show and cost Bayley the championship, only to give it to Nikki Cross. Sasha wants payment. She doesn't want to just beat Bayley. What good is that going to do? If she beats Bayley and gets revenge on Bayley, there's still going to be more work needed for Sasha Banks. There's going to be more work needed for Sasha in the end. If she beats Bayley, then she's got to go and beat Nikki Cross for the title. Why shouldn't she want to beat Bayley and take the championship from Bayley in one shot? It's very simple, folks. This is just common logic. Common logic. This match is made out of sheer desperation. Bayley versus Nikki Cross is happening on the pay-per-view Sunday because there is nobody else. Naomi is hurt. Naomi is not available right now. Lacey Evans is fucking terrible. Tamina Snuka is god-awful. Good luck with that one. And Alexa Bliss, she's in this Bray Wyatt trance. Carmella, she's being repackaged. And there legitimately is nobody else on SmackDown. That is their entire division. So Nikki Cross, out of sheer default and desperation for this pay-per-view, is the only choice because she's the only one that makes sense. Really. She's the only one that's right. Even though we've seen it 4 different fucking times. Sasha Banks and Bayley is the championship match that we should be looking forward to, not Bayley and Nikki Cross. So this was done in a very minimal way because that's exactly what WWE is treating this as. It's just there. It's just on the show. Bayley will retain the title at Sunday's pay-per-view. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Gran Metalik. Man, oh man, Bruce, did you go and dip into the trash and pull out last week's script? We've seen Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lince Dorado. We've seen Cesaro versus Gran Metalik. We've seen Cesaro versus Lince Dorado. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lince Dorado. We've seen tag team matches between these teams. My God, man. This is WWE's tag team division. No teams exist, and then all WWE does to fill in the blanks is take one individual performer from said tag team and pair them in a match with another individual performer of said tag team that's challenging for the titles. Rinse and repeat every single pay-per-view. If this was heavy machinery, we would see Otis versus Cesaro. We would see Tucker versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We would see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis. We would see Cesaro versus Tucker. Then we get a non-title match, and the heavy machinery guys would beat Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura and beat them in a non-title match, and then, and only then, would they get a championship match because they beat the tag team champions on TV. Am I in the ballpark? It's the way it usually ends up. Nakamura wins in 4 minutes here. This was decent for what it was, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Nobody gives a shit. Metalik flip dove over the top rope onto Nakamura at ringside for some early offense. Scored a near fall back in the ring off of that. Metalik went through for a moonsault, but Nakamura moved. Metalik landed on his feet. Nakamura, though, took over and hit Metalik with a knee to the back of his neck. He then landed an exploder suplex followed by his Kinshasa. Nakamura wins in 4 minutes. Cesaro, after the match, attacked Dorado while Kalisto stayed at ringside. And Lince shoved Kalisto away from Metalik afterwards and then helped him out. Kalisto shouted, "Are you kidding me?" That's my reaction every fucking week when I watch this show written by Bruce Pritchard. Moving on here, man. Jey Uso was knocking on Roman Reigns' door. He wanted to talk to the big man Uso. Then we go to a video package on Jey Uso and Reigns and how this match is a true family affair. We've seen quotes from Alpha. We've seen quotes from Rikishi. They also showed Sika, The Rock's father. Jimmy talked about all that they do to compete to one-on-one. Or Sika, Reigns' father, not Rock's father, Reigns' father. I'm thinking of The Rock because I'm thinking of Reigns and The Rock going into WrestleMania. So, Sika, Reigns' father, was there. Jimmy talked about how they'd all compete to one-up each other. Alpha said Reigns always thought he was the big dog. They showed Hulk Hogan holding him as a baby. Rikishi talked about his sons paying his dues, and Rikishi backed up his son, saying that he will be the new big dog in WWE. Jey Uso entered the ring, and Jey Uso said, Corey G, you're supposed to interview me, but I got this. So Graves was sitting at ringside, and Jey said, all week he's been asked about the look that Roman Reigns gave him last week. So he wanted to talk about this look, and he said, let's get it out there and get Roman out here directly so I could talk to you face to face. What's up with the look, Oos? So they cut to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman sitting backstage watching on TV. They were watching Jey, but didn't respond at all. Heyman, all he did was give a head nod. I thought we were better than that, Oos. You smiled to my face and frowned to my back. What is it? Heyman walked out of the locker room, and he said the WWE Universe deserves to hear what Reigns has to say to his cousin face-to-face in the ring. He said it's not going to happen when Jey Uso wants it to happen, though. He said it will happen at the accommodation of the schedule of Reigns. He absolutely positively guaranteed him that discussion will happen in the ring tonight. He excused himself and went back into the locker room. Jey said he knew something was up. He said Reigns changed his cell phone number. He says it's all love, Oos. But either way, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. So, listen, I shit on this. I shit on this big time in the beginning, but I think Jey is a great promo. I think the Usos themselves are great promos. I said it once before, I'm going to say it again. Every time the Usos were in the ring and they cut a promo, they commanded your attention. They're very out there. They're very, crazy. They're a little different, but it's very hard to not feel the passion when Jimmy or Jey Uso is speaking. That's why I appreciate them so much. Everything that they do, everything that they say, there's passion behind it. And I love this. I love the way it came off. I love the way that we've seen this transform from him being happy-go-lucky, and wanting to just one-up Roman Reigns. It's a friendly back and forth. To now he knows it's a little bit more serious than he thought it was in the beginning. And I love to see the transformation of this. He's going through it, and he realizes that this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be in the beginning. And he cut a great promo here. And this wasn't even the best promo he cut all night. He came out at the end of the show and cut one damn good promo, man. This was really, really good stuff. Matt Riddle made his way to the ring. Baron Corbin was shown attacking Matt Riddle at Payback last month. That's where it should have stayed. Then Corbin said he looked forward to making Riddle say bro in a way that means unbearable pain, intolerable misery, and excruciating agony. So Baron Corbin is pretty much describing what I feel and how I feel watching Monday Night Raw. It's exactly what he did. He ain't describing Matt Riddle. He's describing every one of us watching Monday Night Raw. So Riddle made his way to the ring, and Cole said, Matt Riddle, the bodacious barefoot bro. Can they bury this guy anymore, man? Holy shit. How can you take this guy seriously when you got Michael Cole out there calling him the bodacious barefoot fucking bro? That is terrible. That is god awful. I don't know why we're seeing this again. I really don't. Why are we seeing this again? This ended at Payback. Baron Corbin set forth the King's Ransom. We didn't find out what the King's Ransom was. And here we are now having this match again. Matt Riddle beat Baron Corbin at Payback. That's where it should have ended. Yeah, WWE doesn't know what to do, so we're getting it again. This is what should have happened. WWE has this Baron King Corbin gimmick continuing to go on. Last year, he won the King of the Ring. Normally, these types of things last 1 year. Why hasn't WWE booked a King of the Ring tournament? Why? Why hasn't WWE booked a King of the Ring tournament with 16 men from one brand and 16 men from the other, or 8 men from one brand and 8 men from the other? 16 total. just like they did last year. Why are we not getting another King of the Ring tournament? If you wanted this match to happen again, this could have easily been the finals to the tournament. You could have built the entire tournament around Matt Riddle and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin entering at the number 1 seed and him challenging, to retain the crown for a second year in a row. He makes it all the way to the finals, only to meet Matt Riddle in the end. And then Matt Riddle becomes King Bro on SmackDown. And Baron Corbin's got to live with that for the rest of the fucking year unless he gets drafted to Monday Night Raw. Why didn't they do that? Why are we looking at Baron Corbin going on now a second year as king? Because they have no other gimmick. Without the king gimmick, what is Baron Corbin? Baron Corbin is just like everybody else, irrelevant. He's irrelevant to a lot of people now, even as the king. But WWE is afraid to take that off of him because without it, what is he? Nothing. WWE should have done the King of the Ring and built this match as the finals for the second King of the Ring. Baron Corbin wins in 12 minutes here over Matt Riddle. This was listen, the match wasn't bad, but there's no way Matt Riddle should be losing to Baron Corbin. So Riddle threw Corbin over the announce table a couple of minutes into the match. We go to commercial break. Riddle applied a triangle. Corbin lifted Riddle and powerbombed Riddle to escape. Scored a 2 count. Corbin scored a near fall off of a deep 6, which looked great. Corbin went for the end of days, but Riddle flipped out of it and then kneed Corbin in the face. Riddle then went for a floating bro, but Corbin got the knees up. So Riddle was up. He turned his back. He walked right into an end of days for the clean win. I love how WWE protects the end of days. I love it. It's one of my favorite finishes in all of WWE. Probably my most favorite finisher in WWE right now. But you see how WWE has protected that end of days, man. I don't think anybody has kicked out of the end of days. Maybe John Cena. Has John Cena kicked out of the end of days? Probably. I don't know. But Baron Corbin wins in 12 minutes. I don't know why we are losing on SmackDown here. I don't know why Matt Riddle is losing on SmackDown here. I mean, after the promo last week where he went through all of the emotions of bro. And then this week, having Michael Cole call him the bodacious barefoot bro, only to lose clean to Baron Corbin on SmackDown. How soon before we start talking about Matt Riddle being buried? How soon before we start talking about Matt Riddle having a permanent residency in Titus Catering? WWE clearly doesn't give a fuck about Matt Riddle. What has Matt Riddle done? What has he done on SmackDown? In the 3 months that he's been there, what has he done? It's like 3 wasted months. Feuding with AJ Styles, he never even came close to the Intercontinental Championship. He beat Styles in his opening night. They threw that match out there already for absolutely no reason. And now he's feuding with Baron Corbin and has been feuding with Baron Corbin for the remainder of the time on SmackDown. What a fucking waste, man. How are you fucking Matt Riddle up? Honestly. Is there an emotion for losing, bro? That's what I want to know. Kayla interviewed Matt Riddle in the ring and asked if he's disappointed. Riddle said losing sucks, but he won't let this setback stop the stallion. He will continue to grind until SmackDown is the bro show. Whatever. No good reason. WWE clearly thinks high of Corbin, always has, always will, and WWE tonight showed you what they think of Matt Riddle. Don't listen to the analysts, don't listen to the geeks on social media. Matt Riddle is going nowhere on WWE television. No reason why he should have lost. Tonight seemed like they were dumbing down Matt Riddle for absolutely no reason at all. We've seen a vignette of the mystery blonde again, who wrote untouchable on a mirror with lipstick while putting on jewelry. I don't give a shit, Carmella. I really don't. A repackaged, even more blonde, more diva-esque look to Carmella is not going to save this women's division. WWE's doing all of this for what? 2 weeks? And then they'll dump her like the rest of them. Lacey Evans versus Alexa Bliss. This is your weekly statement. Lacey Evans is fucking terrible. Lacey wins by DQ. I barely watched the match because, give me a break. It's Lacey Evans. So, Bliss avoided a Lacey moonsault. The only thing that she does right. So, Bliss avoided a Lacey moonsault. The Thunderdome went red for a few seconds. And Bliss stood and got a certain look in her eye because it was The Fiend. She aggressively went after Lacey as the announcers reacted to the sudden change in Alexa Bliss's attitude. Bliss has completely lost it as she became enthralled with The Fiend. She was in this trance. The referee DQ'd her for stomping away at Lacey in the ropes and not breaking within the referee's 5 count. At ringside, Bliss gave Lacey a Sister Abigail. She re-entered the ring and The Fiend appeared on the big screen and said to Alexa Bliss, "Let me in." Bliss smiled in a crazy way. She looked all disheveled. She looked more like Harley Quinn than I've ever seen her look before. She walked to the back and then out walked Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman onto the stage. Reigns didn't even bother to look at Alexa Bliss as she walked by, but Alexa Bliss stood behind Reigns and Paul Heyman and stared at Roman Reigns and the Universal Championship. She stared at him with a crazy expression, and that was it. Alexa Bliss and The Fiend, I'm glad that they're continuing it. I really am. Alexa Bliss is doing the best work of her career as far as what she's doing as far as being in this trance from The Fiend. I really enjoy it. Just keep her out of the ring and we'll be good to go. She's doing some of the best work of her career. This may be the best work of her career if they do end up pairing her with Bray Wyatt, which seems to be the case. I think this is going to be great. In these types of roles, I don't mind Alexa at all. It's when WWE constantly shoved her down our throats as women's champion, and she wasn't a viable performer. She wasn't a viable threat to anybody in that ring at all. I don't know why anybody would ever take Alexa Bliss seriously. In this role, I could take her seriously. I think this is where she shines most. In the ring, no. Doing what she did tonight, yes. And man, oh man, does she deliver one hell of a Sister Abigail, man. Tell me I'm not right. She does a beautiful Sister Abigail. So that was great to see on Lacey Evans again. Very intrigued to see what is going on with Alexa Bliss and The Fiend. Roman Reigns came out. He paid no attention to Alexa Bliss. Heyman said the time is now. And then Jay came out to his theme and he interrupted Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Reigns told Jay he will give him his side of the story. He said he would give him the title if he could. He said the truth is, though, he wouldn't know what to do with it. He said he doesn't understand the weight and pressure of being on top. He said it's not his fault. You're a twin. Your entire life, you've depended on your brother. He said he's one half of the greatest tag team of his generation, and because of that, he and his family are proud of him. He said his family relies on him being the tribal chief. It ain't you. It won't ever be you because it will always, always be me. He dropped the mic and began to leave. Jay then picked up the microphone and cut one of the best promos of his career. It was short, it was sweet, it was direct, and it had all the emotion that you needed perfectly. So he picked up the microphone and said, "What if you're wrong, Oos? Why can't I be the one to provide for the family?" Jay then said Reigns has been on top his whole life. He said when people see him, people ask, "Which one are you?" Meaning that they can't figure out which Uso is which. And he said what people are going to say after Sunday is he's the one who defeated Roman Reigns at the Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship. That right there will be me. And he dropped the microphone and he was showing a lot of emotion. Reigns, he resumed walking up the stage. He left the stage. He went to the back. And then Jay was walking up the ramp as well with his music. He was going to the back as well. Everybody thought it was going to be the end of the show. Reigns popped out of Gorilla, out of nowhere, where Jey Uso had his head down for a split second, and Reigns absolutely blasted Jey Uso with a Superman punch, and he knocked him out. He leaned over Jey Uso, holding the Universal Championship up, and said he's going to take the ass whooping he has coming, and he will never take his title. He said he feeds an entire family with this title. He was very angry. He was very fierce. He was very blunt, while Jey Uso lay there motionless off a Superman punch. You will never take my place at the head of the table. So obviously WWE piped in a lot of boos for Roman Reigns here. Reigns looked down at Jey and then turned and seemed to admire what he did to Jey Uso. He said something to Heyman as the show came to an end. That entire Alexa Bliss situation with Bray Wyatt and this Roman Reigns Jey Uso thing legitimately were the only things on this show worth watching. Roman Reigns, I've been so hard on Roman Reigns, and I wish the roster would realize that I'm not attacking their body of work. It's always, will always, forever be an issue concerning me with creative. I know creative writes this shit. I know creative and Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and everybody else involved here, they are the ones to blame. I never blame the talent. I will always be honest in my assessment of everything. If you have a bad match, I'll call out a bad match. If you got a bad spot or a bad night, I'll call you out on the bad night. I'm going to analyze and review like I always do. If you got a good night or a good match or a good segment, a good promo, whatever, I'm going to let you know. I mean, this isn't, the JD of 4 or 5 years ago. Here I am on this very show admiring what Roman Reigns and Jey Uso did. I admitted that I wasn't a fan of this storyline in week 1. And you could probably lump me into that Roman Reigns article that I read you, that Roman Reigns segment where he said fans are fast food fans. In that instance, I probably looked like a fast food fan, but I had my reasons. WWE, in my honest opinion, exposed themselves by putting somebody who doesn't belong in that situation in that situation. WWE exposed themselves by not having a roster full of guys that they could feed to Roman Reigns in this time before they get him to the final boss. Which right now may look like The Rock at WrestleMania. Because we're hearing a lot of chatter about Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania. I grew to like this storyline because it's personal. And every time you put a dash of realism into something, it's always going to come out being the best thing on the show. And that's exactly what this is transformed into. I've been hard on Roman Reigns. I've been harder than anybody on Roman Reigns. And for right reason. It wasn't Reigns' fault. It was WWE's fault. I was hard on Roman Reigns because WWE didn't know any better. I was hard on Roman Reigns because WWE was negligent with Roman Reigns. I was hard on Roman Reigns because WWE thought that they knew what they were doing, and they fucked up every chance that they had with Roman Reigns. You could have turned this guy heel 5 times over already. And now they did it. And it sucks that it's without fans. But my God, man, this is exactly what I wanted to see all those years. For all those years, I wanted to see this Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, no matter what you think, you could be the biggest Roman Reigns advocate or you could be a fucking first-time fan. I'm telling you right now, through the eyes of fucking hatred I had for this guy because of the way WWE was booking him, through the eyes of what I see now, there's no bigger eye or vision as far as Roman Reigns goes than my vision in the community. I've seen it all. I've talked about it, and I got nauseous talking about it. This is the best Roman Reigns has looked ever. What he did tonight was the best Roman Reigns has looked ever. The way he Superman punched Jey, the way he stood over Jey with the title, and the way he just got in his face as he laid unconscious, saying that he will never be at the head of the family's dinner table. Absolutely fantastic. And I've always been a fan of the Usos. When they speak, you listen. The emotion is always there with the Usos. This is going to be a bloodbath on Sunday. I wouldn't make it a squash. I wouldn't have Roman Reigns squash Jey Uso on Sunday. I said it on tomorrow's show, which you guys will hear the Clash of the Champions predictions. Roman Reigns goes into this dominating for 95% of it. I want to see Jey Uso with a super kick there, a super kick here. Roman Reigns is on the ropes. He goes down. Uso goes up for the splash. He hits the splash. We get a 1. We get a 2. We get a 2 9/10. Jey Uso is going to make you believe he won the Universal Championship. Just in one sequence of that match. And then in the end, Roman Reigns is going to show you why this is legitimately his island. Superman punch, spear, that's it. Done. And if I'm WWE, I'm adding some color to this. I would love to see some blood in this match. Blood usually is not a thing that I advocate for. But if you're telling this story and you want Roman Reigns to be as over as a heel as he needs to be, adding a dose of color to this thing, being that it's a family member, is going to go a long way for Roman Reigns. This was excellent. Absolutely fucking incredible. Was that closing segment to SmackDown. And that's all you got on the show tonight, really. I'm always lurking, says Jesse. Believe that. Sometimes I'm busy or don't want to cause a distraction from JD. Look at that. Look at my good pal. He even liked the segment, man. He thought it was fucking incredible. Awesome, awesome way to end SmackDown tonight. Guys, that is all I got for SmackDown. Not really a good go-home show. It suffered the same as Monday Night Raw. They didn't really do anything to get you excited about the pay-per-view, but the two things that I'm really excited about most, I was already excited about going into tonight's show, so they didn't really do anything else to get me any more excited. Maybe a little bit with the Uso and Roman Reigns thing, but Roman Reigns and Uso and Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. That's pretty much it. Everything else on this show is absolutely a waste of time. It just is there. It just exists to flesh out the rest of the card. But guys, if you are here for the review is over. If you guys want to hang out, you are more than welcome to hang out for some super chats, man. Super chats are open. Make sure you guys send them on in. Let's hang out for a little bit. And then we'll wrap it up here on the post show for Off the Script, man. What do we got here, man? JP5150 with a $10 bomb. Despite an absolutely awful show, I'm wondering if it's all love when Roman Reigns absolutely murders Jey Uso in such a macabre way that makes cartel drug lords jealous. Let me tell you something, man. That absolutely needs to happen. Absolutely needs to happen. Like I said, add a little blood and we're good to go. Jacob Donnelly, what's up, brother? $5 super chat. How is it that WWE made a pay-per-view where all the championships are on the line feels so unimportant? It's WWE in 2020, bro. Why are you so surprised? Why are you so surprised? Deshaun Turner with a $5 super chat. Cole Quinn from 2K gave Shane the name Slapjack. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't even give a shit. People in WWE gave him the name Slapjack, and they knew exactly what they were naming him when they named him that. Sending him out there on live TV. Tenorio128 with a $5 super chat. Have you ever watched The Wrestler? Yes, excellent. Excellent movie. Jesse says in the chat, I love how Corey Graves thinks every fucking week that the Deep Six is going to end the match. I've only seen it happen once and only once. Same thing with the Blue Thunder Bomb, bro. Every time Sami Zayn does the Blue Thunder Bomb, man, one of the prettiest spots in all of pro wrestling. I think Sami Zayn may have won with it once on SmackDown. Every time he does it, Michael Cole calls it as if he's going to win the fucking match. I don't know why Sami Zayn just doesn't reverse the way he does the moves. The Helluva Kick should be the setup, and the Blue Thunder Bomb should be the finish, the ending. I don't know why. Gregory Benson with a $4.99 super chat. You lobby for Bruce's termination. I lobby with you, bro. I think a lot of people lobby with Bruce's termination, bro. Seriously. I don't really want to advocate for somebody losing their job, but I'm not even saying I want him to lose his job. I just want him to be demoted. I want him to be removed. He can still have a part in the company, but just not in power. Simple. Lee Daniel with $5 super chat. The Fox should come up with their own creative ideas to the table to help the WWE product. They should have their own conference call meeting. Absolutely not. The people in WWE can't even write a fucking show. You're going to rely on Fox to come up with ideas? They know even less. We don't want anything with Fox or any ideas from Fox on SmackDown. Mario Mania with a $5 super chat. Canadian. I just want to say you helped me through some tough times. Thank you for everything you do to entertain us all. Don't ever stop and don't listen to the haters. I appreciate you, man. Anything I can do to help anybody out, man, I'm always here. I've had people come to me and tell me that they don't even watch the show. They rely on me every week to fill them in on what is going on, to give them the truth, to get to the source of the truth, like JP says. I've had people come to me and tell me that they listen to me through chemo sessions, that they've listened to me while getting over a divorce or a breakup or a death in the family. I say it every time, man. Every single time someone tells me that, it is greater than any super chat, any donation, any type of t-shirt being sold, or any type of monetary gain on this stream or this channel. That is the biggest payment ever. And I'm going to continue doing that for everybody, man. Thank you so much, Mario. Hopefully all is well with you, bro. Saeed, $5 Canadian. Laughed out loud when I discovered the definitions of slackjack and T-bar. I feel bad for all 5 of them. Keep up the great work, JD. Much respect. Bro, there is a retribution class session on tomorrow's podcast. Andy Malone with a $5 super chat. JD, are we live? T-bar, am I dead? This crap is hilarious. I agree, JD. Great talent, stupid names, and you'll always be number one. I appreciate you, Andy. Thank you so much, man. JD23, $5 super chat. No message. Indigo, hey, JD, much respect. What's up, Indigo? Kadarius McKinley with a $5 super chat. I am a big Roman Reigns fan, but he is finally a heel. Yes, and it's glorious. And it is glorious. Logan, go fuck yourself and get out of my chat, bro. You're in here. JD is a schmuck, and he blocked me on Twitter for disagreeing with his opinion. Negative. You probably talked shit about me, you got caught, and I blocked you. Yet you're still in my chat, seeking some sort of 5 minutes of fame. You got it, bitch. You got it. No, you're not just blocked on Twitter. Now you're blocked in the chat. So now you can fucking kiss my ass. For a second time. You call me a smark, everybody else calls me a fucking genius. Remember, this is my community. I allow you to be in it. When someone does this better than me, then I'll step away. And that ain't happening anytime soon. Adam Hernandez, $10 super chat. Sasha versus any woman in wrestling. Book it, JD. Toni Storm. Either Toni Storm. You guys might not like my answer. Tessa Blanchard. Toni Storm or Tessa Blanchard, man. That's it. Anyway, guys, I think that's it. It was a slow night. Slow night on SmackDown. That's right, man. I love when I bury somebody, man. What do you guys call it? Bodying somebody? Logan got, what's his name? I don't even know his fucking name. Logan? Let me see. Yeah, Logan Hilton. Logan Hinton. He got bodied, right? Is that what you guys call it? Oh, you got more than bodied, clown. Oh, man. Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania sounds pretty damn entertaining, man. Seriously, if Roman is continuing on this, this heel run, and he's mentioning all of this family, feeding the family, and he's at the head of the family, and the family is rich and fucking taken care of because of him, bro, doesn't it sound like it's being done by design? Sounds like The Rock is coming back to fight Roman at WrestleMania to me. And you know what? Normally, I'd shit all over it. 5 years ago, I'd shit all over it. This year, I'm not. I think that sounds fucking great. Roman with Heyman going face-to-face with The Rock? Bro, take my money. Chris with a $9.99 super chat. JD, what's up? My grandma's recovering from COVID. Braves clinched the second seed in the NL playoffs. Can you imagine Reigns turning heel in front of a Chicago crowd or a New York crowd? Can't wait for OTS. Hopefully your grandma is getting better, bro. And yes, the Braves have problems. I do not expect them to win anything in the playoffs. But we'll see, man. They've been so hot and cold. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But guys, I'm getting out of here, man. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys also check out all the other videos that you might have missed. Monday Night Raw, AEW, NXT, a couple of off-the-script extras as well. And tomorrow's show goes up on the channel at 5 p.m. over 2 hours of audio and video content. Go and support the podcast. Mouthmasker.com/OTS for your masks. Get your official off-the-script mask. Go and get some t-shirts, man. Bonfire.com. Link is down below for all that you need. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And as always, guys, I keep saying it, hit that thumbs up and turn on that bell and subscribe to the channel. Guys, I'm getting out of here. JD23, dare I say, WWE got me interested in something tonight with Alexa Bliss's character. I love the look she gave Roman towards the end of the show. That doesn't really mean anything good for The Fiend, but I loved it as well, bro. Guys, I am getting out of here. Windows down! Turn the volume up. Guitar solo blasting. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Off the Script.